Happy 25th episode, friends. Holy heck, can you believe it? This is the 25th time we've hung out together. And if it isn't, just go check out the other videos after this one, and then it'll be 25. Today I want to go over what it means when we talk about Old World versus New World, and then use that topic to sort of introduce some fun happenings in the world of wine. I'm foreshadowing at the beginning. What can I say? I have to keep you hooked somehow. So trying to keep this a little short, kind of like last time, didn't work out as much as I had hoped, but before I start indulging in the longer videos, the entire gist of this video is held in these maps. So we have this one from Wine Folly, and can I do this? No, that doesn't work. Okay, we have, oh boy, we have this one from Happy 25th episode, friends. Holy heck, can you believe it? 25 times we've hung out together. And if you aren't at 25, just go watch all the videos after this one and you'll catch up to 25. So today I want to go over some terms, Old World and New World, and then use that topic to segue into some fun happenings in the world of wine today. Again, I'm starting this video out with some foreshadowing because I have to keep you hooked somehow. I'm going to try to keep this a little short again. I know last time I was like at 8 instead of 5. But before I start indulging in long videos again, the entire gist of this video is held in some maps. So you've got this one from Wine Folly, this one from Good Pear Days, this one that is somehow both from OpenStreetMap and also blog.wineexpress.com, this one from Wine-O-Mark, and this one from ABCFWS. I know, they're all basically the same map, so it really just depends on which one appeals to you aesthetically. The gist of this, the point of this exercise is that, like, Old World is Western Europe, like France and their surrounding areas, and New World is everywhere else. It's helpful to know this, but what you really want to know is more what the New and Old World styles are. So Old World style, like many Old World things, is essentially a little more restrained, sometimes more refined, not quite as bold. Think lighter body, lower alcohol, brighter acid, less emphasis on the fruit flavors, and a little more emphasis on those secondary and tertiary notes. New World style is a little like louder and a little more in your face. Full body, higher alcohol, bright ripe fruits, and usually a bit less acidic. This means that even if a wine is made from the same grape variety in nearly identical climates, if it's made in the New World style, it's very different wine than the Old World style of the same grape, wine, whatever. There is also a bit more, how do I explain this? We talked a bit about French wine laws, and most of the Old World has similar sets of labeling conventions and stricter laws. The New World is a lot more into experimentation. So even if there are rules, the New World is like, okay, so when I break the rule, I just put that on the label, right? Whereas the Old World is like, yes, there are rules and we will follow them. Not to say that there's no creativity, if you kind of think of this as like sonnets. So long as you write 14 lines in iambic pentameter with usually like an A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, H rhyme scheme, you can say whatever you want. But there is some comfort in having these guidelines, and that's Old World style. New World style is like free verse. Just say whatever you want, as long as there's feeling. Yeet. No one says yeet anymore, and this is probably not a great metaphor, but it is the one that I have. So, which to drink? Well, I like both. But let's say I'm like, boy, oh boy, I am super in the mood for a GSM, and you can see the Roan video for more on GSMs. If I want a GSM that knocks politely on my door and says, let's get spicy, but then giggles quietly and politely, I'll get one from France. If I want a GSM that kicks my door down and is like, bitch, we're going to go to the club and we're going to get lit, I'll probably look for a New World, maybe Australia, to be honest. So both New and Old World are absolute gifts to us, and which you select for any given night depends both on the grape that you want, but also on the style that you want. Now, what about the foreshadowing at the beginning of the video? Okay, yeah, it's honestly not super related. But in terms of New and Old World, and trying not to touch too heavily on socio-political tensions I mentioned in the Thanksgiving video, the US is technically one of the newest worlds, because as an official country, obviously it's super new. But what's really cool is that the original inhabitants of this land are starting to come onto the wine scene. What am I talking about but Native American vintners? So I'll link in the video description, but in the Wine Spectator article, Native American tribes reclaim their land with vineyards and wineries, you can read about 4 Native American wineries and what they're doing right now. 3 of them mentioned are in Cali and then the one in Canada, and they all sound just so neat. I'm also including a link to NerdVine's winery, whose website states they're the first American Indian-owned winery, and they're in North Carolina, which is at least a lot closer for me. Besides Old and New World, I also wanted to touch on this topic because the day after Thanksgiving is Native American Heritage Day, and I had started to make a video on what wines to pair with traditional food, but honestly, it felt very much like it wasn't my place. The depth of my knowledge is frankly just not good enough. The landmass that is now North America is enormous. There are somewhere between 550 and 600 federally recognized tribes. So for me to try to say, oh, traditional Native American food is X, Y, or Z would be a daunting task because the tribes are so unique. So if you are interested in learning more about your local tribes and what food might have been traditional for them, you can check out the incredible interactive map I've linked in the video description and check out where different tribes and people lived and then do some of your own research. At this point, I am confident that we have discussed enough about food and wine pairing that you can take your new information and mix and match your wines. And when you do this, please, please, please comment on this video because I want to hear all about what you learned and what pairings worked and even what pairings didn't work. Okay, I know this sort of turned into like 2 videos in one, but hey, sometimes we get a little chaotic here at NerdVine. It would mean the world to me if for our 25th episode together, you would consider giving me the gift of a like and a subscribe so that we can keep growing our little community of wine nerds. And either way, I'll see you next time as we start to really go crazy with different wines and all the upcoming holidays. And until then, cheers.